All right. So I believe that you all guys can hear me. Yesterday we spoke extensively on uh, we spoke on what some of the common mistakes that people make when applying for a job, and most importantly, I explained some of the things that you can do instead. So we'll just continue from there today. Just give me a minute. Let me just record the call. Ooh, okay. Uh, all right. So spoke extensively on some of the things to do. I spoke about places to be, how etiquette, how to write, the differences between a CV, resume, and cover letter. And I gave you hints on some of the things that you could do better. So um, if probably you didn't get that part, I tried as much as possible to record. You would get the recording, and yes, I could also share one with you after the call. Today we would be asking ourselves what actions, aside from what we've discussed yesterday, can we take to ensure that we actually get the results we are looking for. All right. So the first thing is LinkedIn positioning. I've been talking about LinkedIn since I started teaching you guys. I started this series with you guys, and what are those things that you can do better? I realize that most of you have your LinkedIn set already, so I'm just going to point out some of the things that, based on research, I found that has been helpful with for a lot of people. So the first thing is make sure that on your profile always hide the fact that you're open to opportunities, and probably a bit of what do I call it now? Your focus. For example, if you are positioning to be a technical product manager, then let your banner reflect that. Let it tells us this is who I am. Don't just put a banner with your picture or something. For me, on my LinkedIn profile, you see the banner of my organization, of the company I work for. Why? Because I am the product owner, and who I represent myself with out there reflect the value of the company I work for. It is not compulsory. They didn't enforce it on us. But I want people to check my profile and say, yeah, this guy is an owner. He takes ownership of what he is being what has been handed over to him. And hence the reason why I added it. So if you feel like it when you work for your next organization, you can also do that. Additionally, it does like a bit of marketing for my company as well, and also it talks about me as a person. What exactly am I into? What do I do? In a way, so you could decide what you want your banner to look like. For the headline, you already know what it should look like. I believe some of you already have a lot of things. You don't need to crowd it. Remember that LinkedIn is just like your old WordPress websites that are SEO enabled, so which means that every single thing that you write on your LinkedIn matters. Your LinkedIn becomes begins to rank for those words. Of course, you might not be at the top of the matrix, but one way or the other, your LinkedIn becomes evidently improved or optimized for visibility with every single word that accompanies your profile. For every time you write on LinkedIn, you are giving yourself visibility, because basically, just like for those of us that have been in the media space, if you own a blog, um, years ago, you realize that you write on some certain keywords, and over time, Google search engines start picking you up for those particular keywords. So if a user search for example, terrorism now, there's a particular website that is actually ranking for terrorism. Why? Because they have been optimized for SEO. One of the ways that they are optimized for SEO is means that they've written so much about terrorism. I mean, there are other factors, But one of the key factors is that they've written so much about terrorism that Google considers them experts in that particular field. So the same thing about concerning LinkedIn. Your profile determines what Google sees you as. So one of the key things that you should do in the early stage is make sure that your profile says clearly that you are a product manager. When I started out, my profile literally say aspiring product manager. At some point, it changed to associate product manager when I felt like I was ready for the job market. And then I started looking for associate roles. Later on, I moved from associate to product manager. Now, in a way, once I'm starting to look for senior role, I might be moving back to associate product manager because I might want to actually work with a senior. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So your profile has to always speak about you. When I check your profile, I should be able to know from your headline that this is what who you are and this is what. So if you're positioning yourself for job, don't be shy to put open to work on your profile. It's fine for people to know that you're jobless or you're unemployed or you're looking for job. Put it out there. Open for opportunities. Let it be on your profile as much as possible. Product manager for probably startups. Let it be on your profile. Um, I give an example here. Some of the taglines that you could use: helping startup to build what they love. For example, your capstone project, you can put it there as well. Hopefully you guys are able to finish the project, so you can put it there and say, yeah, we worked on a recipe generation application or software, um, and I led the team of, or I worked with the team of product managers who in turn worked with the team of designers, developers to achieve this particular purpose. And yeah, since the application will be hosted, you can always put the application in the number of projects, and someone looking at your profile can literally go there. You can even write a whole case study about it. Write out how you, what research you did, how you did your research, your process, so that someone who is looking for a product manager can look at your profile and say, yeah, this person is who we are looking for. Yeah. And then the about section, always start with a hook, especially when you're looking for a job. You don't want to sound like you are know it all or you're a senior advocate of Nigeria when you are not. So try as much as possible to put out yourself, write as much as you can or as much as LinkedIn allows you to, but make sure there's a hook. We are in the truth of the matter is in this century, a lot of people have very, very short attention span. So once they start reading your profile or your about page and it's starting with my name is Kinikon, we already see your name. Like I saw your name before clicking on you. So tell us something we don't know. Use a hook to start. I already know you're a product manager. It's there on your profile. Use something else. But maybe when you get a job, yeah, you can use it to talk about yourself. Like you can use it to write your biography, especially if you are in a place. For me, I get invited for a lot of talks. Sometimes people invite me to just come and talk in their WhatsApp community, and I don't like stressing myself to give them biography. So my about page basically talks about me. So most times people just go there and copy it and then paste it in wherever they want to put it. So if if that's what you want to use it for, fine. But if what you want to use it for is to tell about you, then write about you. Let it be personalized to you. I know that we're in a world of AI and it's easy to just use AI to write stuff. But yeah, let it be personalized. Let me read it and say, nah, this thing is different. It sounds different. This person is uniquely uniquely written about themselves well. So also you have an opportunity with LinkedIn to actually feature some sessions. So on those particular plays, you can put in a link to your capstone case study. Like I said, write about how you came up with the capstone project, or PM teardown article, which I will talk about very soon. But briefly, what's a teardown article or a post? It basically means that you take, for example, OPay as an app and you sit down with it and think about it as a product manager. What can I do better? What are the issues that can be better in this? What is this? What is that? And then you write a full article on it, criticizing what you have seen and talking about what you would do better. So you can put that in your profile. People do that a lot before. When I was trying to be a product manager, in fact, designers do that. But nowadays, I don't see posts like that. People just want to talk. You see, people go there, talk about design principles, talk about, but we want to understand your thinking process. How are you able to drop value? So, in a way, like I said, go all in, find a product. It could be page stack, it could be flutter wave, it could be, you can do a tear down. For me, I mean, I don't like it. I gave you guys few weeks ago when we were doing our clients and we are doing a practical. I saw something, a security concern on compliance concern on Flutterwave. I had to send them an email. That's how I do it. But for someone that is looking for a job in Flutterwave, the best way to do it would be to write a tear down article. Now, learn more about their product. You found one, find other things, write a full article about it. You can even write a full article, do like a screenshot of each section, and then write a summary about it, post on LinkedIn, and put the link there. Tag as many executives in the company as possible. Maybe the first post will not get you the job, the second one will not get you the job, but the third one, hopefully, might get you the job. And concerning your um one thing I find that a lot of people also do is they do a short video of themselves, talking about who they are, what they stand for, and how they can help any company become the best of who they could be, or help them sell their product better, or help them manage their product better, or help them go to market faster, depending on what your strength is. As a matter of fact, some companies ask for this in an interview, that you sit down in front of the camera and record yourself saying, I don't know how that's relevant, but yeah, a lot of company does that. So for you, you can just add that to your profile so that people that doesn't like reading can also listen to you talk. And who knows, they might actually give you the job because of your voice or because of the value they hear in the video that you have churned out. Like I said, if you don't have any experience as a product manager, at the end of this program, you can add your capstone project as your experience. Just talk about the duration in which, put it as a duration in which you have worked on the project, and maybe you guys can keep your team, your group can keep improving it. Any time you guys get a better job, that's one of the best way to build your portfolio. Everyone needs a company to start, but not everyone will get a chance to work for a company. So you could, I mean, work with your team that you're already building a capstone project with, and all of you can build this portfolio together. Who knows? It might be a very big thing tomorrow. Like I said earlier, SEO. In case you don't know what SEO is search engine optimization. So SEO, your LinkedIn profile is basically an SEO input system. So whatever you write, every time you write something on LinkedIn and you save it, LinkedIn automatically puts those things out to search engine. If you search your name on Google right now, and then you check page one, page two, page three, page four, page five, and you can't find anything about yourself, it means that you have not really put out enough content, or your profile on LinkedIn is actually not doing well enough. So you should understand that. All right. Uh Yeah, this is also a very common word. Like I said, you could write tear down of real products. You could write a thread about some mistakes that people make in onboarding. But I find that to be really good, at least for those that want to learn one or two. They're able to learn from your product, but it doesn't really get you a job. I'm just going to be honest with you. I've not actually found a lot of people that I got job for, but it shows that you know your onions, which is good, and a lot of people come to learn from it. But people really want to see your experience, so to say. So yeah, you can do both. I mean, there's no harm in doing both if you're looking for a job. So then you could also write about your journey. I've mentioned this before during our training. Everything you learn, write about it. Today we learned how to use API to do this. Tomorrow we learned how to use Asana. Here I'm just learning. I just realized that you could use Asana to do this. It shows. Somebody looking at your profile knows that you can use Asana now. Somebody looking at your profile know that, oh, you can use Postman now. It makes sense. So if you are putting it in your CV that you have experience with Postman, people really understand, and they can easily believe that you have experience because they've seen that you've written something valuable about it. I mean, you've been able to put out a value regarding what you are saying that you know how to do. And yeah, this works a lot. One of my first international gigs, I got it because of this. Comment on people's, especially founders. As a product manager, you want to comment on recruiters, founders, other senior product managers, influencer product managers. They oftentimes call them product leaders in the industry. Comment, like, don't just put comment and do wow. Aww. No, don't just put those stuff. Put valuable stuff. Read the content. If you don't have anything to say, move away. But if you have something to say, please do better to do it. Sometimes it might not even be a comment, so to say. It might be a question. Like, bro, I've read all these things that you've written, but I don't understand anything. But I feel like I'm interested. The way you write it will determine if the person would reply to you. And if God bless you that some people that I know in the industry replies to you, forget it. You'll have recruiters chasing you the next week. Usually that's the process. People want to be sure that you are valuable. And if people at the top can say that you can be valuable enough for them to reply you, then probably maybe you are value as well. And I've already explained you writing case studies as a means as well. You can also start a series. I think the founder of Product Hub Africa, she started one a few. I've not been following, but she started one a few weeks ago, a few months back, where she was talking about product stuff every month. I've done it as well before. You pick a topic, talk about it in your own unique way, and then people read and give you feedback concerning it. It also gives you visibility one way or the other. All right, so that's a thought strategy. And then this particular one is one that a lot of people don't like doing, but I will tell you for free. It's something that gets you job a lot. Instead of waiting to get a job, like, put the ideas out together. So let's assume you use an application that stress you every single day. Let's assume the application that stress me is Access Bank application. What I would do is, what are the things that stress me on this application? I'll pick it up. What would I have done if I was a product manager to ensure that this doesn't stress people as much as possible? Then I would write about it and then probably give um I can do a user flow with applications like what's the name, Miro. Although Miro is almost not free right now, but I've given you guys one that you can use, Escaladraw. So I could use Escaladraw, for example, to draw like a flow of what to expect. Maybe before you have to click on this button before you get to this point, and then you click on this button before you get to this point, and you feel like those processes are just too long. Bro, why can't you just merge it into one? Ask for a form, I check it, bang, 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 then I push the button, bam, and then it loads and give me the result. Why should I have to go through four different pages? That could be your pain point. Write it down and push it out. It talks about your thought process, and usually as product manager, your thought process is what we want to see. How do you handle challenges? All right, so another thing you could do is think about a problem in your communities, and how can I solve this problem? What can I do to solve this problem? It could even be your personal problem, like, oh, my alarm doesn't wake me anymore, so what can I do? What product else can wake me? If alarm is not waking me up, what else can wake me up? These are things that you could think about, and I've explained that you could publish this literally anywhere. Usually, I use LinkedIn. I use what's the name of this platform? I mean, there's a couple of platforms out there that you could use, but yeah, Notion is one of them. And then you could write your process about it. So now this is the solution I'm preferring, but I think I will do it this way. I've spoken about tear down a couple of times. So you can also create fake PRDs. Think about a problem, write PRDs for them. You can write PRDs even for existing products. Look at boats and then pretend as if you had not used boats in your life before. And then the boat CEO is calling you to come and become a products manager, and then write PRDs for them. I told you guys that joining PM Slack groups have also helped me a lot. So there's a lot of groups like that. Uh, I would send you some. so that you can probably join them. But yeah, there's a couple of groups that you could join. There's the Product Hub Africa, obviously. There's people in product. There's product managers in Africa. There's a lot of Slack groups. You'd get to be in a group with over 5,000 product managers and sometimes CEOs, founders. Those people are there. So those people come here, tell you this is the problem they're facing, and then you're able to give them valuable answer. And yeah, you might even find people that can do stuff for you. You're facing this particular challenge, and you want to know if any PM has ever faced it before and how they solved that particular challenge. Of course, I'm not expecting you to go and talk about your entire company's problem, but like maybe you could mirror it, say it in a very diplomatic way that can also get you the result you're looking for. So yeah, that, and I've discussed about this before. Attend programs. Don't sit down inside the house. Don't just say, "Hey, I'm just all about training myself and get mentorship, get people, go out." The more people you know, the higher your chances of getting a job. Actually, the more people you know, the higher your chances of getting a job, because people refer people nowadays, and if they know that you have value, they would refer you. That's one of the most important thing. All right, so if you go for LinkedIn, Twitter Space, try and talk, speak up, ask questions, all those things, yada yada, and all of that. All right, so this is also something that when I started, it was very very popular and it was working for a lot of people, but it didn't really work for me. But I can, in my head, I can count about 5 to 10 people that were looking for jobs together when I started off, and it worked for them. So, like, send cold outreaches to people, message, like, write, but don't just, that's another thing. Don't just write, don't just write, "Hi, how are you doing? I just thought to check up on you by gun," and then 2 weeks later you come again and say, "Hi, how are you?" I think I was sharing with my wife few days ago during my birthday period that there was this particular guy on LinkedIn. Every single, for the past 4 years, every single birthday that I do rather, he would always say happy birthday. Like, our LinkedIn chat is just happy birthday, thank you so much, happy birthday, thank you so much, happy birthday, thank you so much. I've never been lucky to know when his birthday is, so it has always been him and me. And it's strange because now I feel like I owe him something, but at the same time I don't know him. I don't know if he can deliver value. So even though right now he's on a good book with me, so to say, if I have an opportunity, I don't think about him. So what do you do instead? When you DM, make sure that your DM is value driven and there is a CTA. Check the example that I gave. I said, "Hi," the name of the person. "I admire your work on X product." That means, let's say, Flutterwave or Paystack, or on your OPay or anything. "I've been studying the company and I wrote a quick teardown on this feature." That means this feature that you guys have, I feel like it could be better. Would you like me to send the tear down to you? I mean, you could send this to like a senior product manager in the company or even the CEO. Nobody who loves their company and their product would hear this and not want to hear you talk. Now, what you do after this depends. Now, you can send it to them and they review and they say, "Oh, really, we are working on this already. Thank you so much for bringing it to our attention. If you don't have any other thing, let us know." That might just be the end of it. But you have made a friend. You've made an impression on someone that in the next 1 year, 2 years, you might not get opportunity from them, but they just reach out to you one day and say, "Hi, I just wanted to ask if you have a place you're working right now or you would like to work for us." Usually that's the case. So if you it's a long game, and sometimes it can actually be the short game, because while you're sending it, the company might actually be looking for an associate or a junior PM or even a PM itself. So yeah, that as well can work. You can also send emails um, about this as well if you don't want to go through LinkedIn. If you have their personal emails, you can send to them. For example, that of Flutterwave, I send it through their support email. I didn't, it wasn't a big deal for me because I would like somebody to actually tell me if there was a problem with my product. And right now, I mean, I'm not really looking forward to entering Flutterwave like I used to. Funny enough. Anyway, so me sending that email to them actually, so to say, opened up could have opened up an opportunity for me. I could have sat down, researched who is the person in charge of this particular product, how can I get their email and then send it directly to them, or send it to their boss, or stuff like that, just to be able to get an opportunity to sell myself. All right, so this is actually one of the ways that you could get um uh jobs as well. All right. So these are the things. I think this concludes the section where I was talking about the unconventional job repositioning strategy. I had explained the conditional way. Now, after now, I mean, the next couple of minutes, I'll be talking about the unconventional one. Please take this information with Zobo. Don't don't overdo it. But yeah, it's one of the unconventional ways, and I have evidences that they work. So let's talk about how interview works. I mean, if you had to go for interviews, there are four major things that happen in any interview. And sorry, I'm merging this together, but so that you guys can learn. The first one is introduction. They don't want you to be tense. So when you go for an interview, the recruiter often start with, especially when they see that you're tensed, they try and lighten up the mood and everything, and laugh with you just so that you come up. If you find good recruiters, anyway. But yeah, after that, you have the tell me about yourself question. Almost every interview recruiters ask you this, and usually it's not as if they don't have your CV with them. So they don't expect you to say, so I'm Oluyomi Olushola Michael. I was born into a family of four. They don't. When they say tell me about yourself, they are telling you, how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? What do you think of yourself? What do you think of yourself? And I hope that you can find answers for that. If you don't have answers for that, then you don't probably deserve to be in their company, because if you don't know yourself, how can you help us? So they ask you questions regarding your position as well. Who is a product manager? What do you think you do as a product manager? If this happens, what would you do to this? Blah blah blah. And then the last question is, they ask you if you have a question for them. Usually most people just say no, I don't. But in my case, oftentimes I ask about the salary expectations, and sometimes they say, no, 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 we'll still have another interview to discuss that. Say, no, 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 before then, just tell me, give me like an hint. What am I expecting? Sometimes I ask, okay, what's the tell me about the company. What is it like working with the company? Some recruiters will tell you. Some recruiters who are external recruiters will tell you, yeah, you'll get to know in the next meeting if you make it. And conversations like that. But just make sure that you ask something intelligible. If you don't have one, then don't ask. It's better not to ask than disgrace your forefathers. All right. So, what does interviews look like traditionally? Usually, there's like it's usually like a 15 minutes is even long. At least I've done two physical interviews. One I had to travel for. The other one I did when I was in Ilorin. Usually you go into a room filled with like three people or four people looking at you face to face, and then you are shaking, obviously, and they give you water if they are nice, and then you have conversations that say, you swallow your breath multiple times if possible. Yeah, that's usually the case. And like I said, there's usually like everybody asking you, and sometimes somebody is smiling, the other one is doing strong face. You don't know if what you're saying makes any sense or the other way around. However, they don't just the beautiful thing about traditional approaches, they don't just judge you based on what you said. They judge you based on what you can do as well, the way you dress, the way. So sometimes people get job just because they are being polite. Because by the time they have an usually like if you have 100%, they say 25% for dressing, 25% for this, and that's how they calculate it. So at the end of the day, somebody can be a very good product manager but lacks dressing and lacks like physical appearance, lacks boldness, and then 25% for that is gone. And then another person, maybe their dressing is so whack, and in fact, their presentation is just terrible, their CV, nothing to write home about, 25% also gone. So almost 50% gone. And maybe the last part is just to know, okay, the core skills. Do you have the core skills? This is 25%. And then the last one is, how are you able to act in difficult situations? For example, the interview is another 25%. So you can have somebody that probably don't have the core skill but have every other one. Shit, the person has passed 75%, just like that. So if that's such person pass, and that's why a lot of time you have banks who are traditional in scope, they don't just give you the job immediately. They put you through training so that even though you don't have the job experience, you can learn the basics to work. They don't really need you to be the best at what you do. That's why they look for trainees. They need you to have background on to be a good person in general, so to say. So the traditional approach is actually my best bet. If you are, I would prefer it than the new approach. Then the new approach, all those things are, I mean, you can even be on short out to attend an interview. I can attend an interview like this with a hoodie. Probably people probably doesn't care. Um, as long as you're comfortable, they want you, if I did tell you come as comfortable as you are. So yeah, especially in tech. So they only base usually they base your judgment in the new way based on what you can do. So what should you do when you're preparing for an interview? Always learn about the company. Don't go to an interview without knowing the company you're working with. As a matter of fact, don't apply to a company without knowing. I told you guys to it's a different case if the company reached out to you. It's a different case. Probably they saw you on LinkedIn and say, we can you work for us? It's a different thing. You can have that conversation without really researching them yet. Then after you're done with the conversation and probably you guys have decided an interview date or something, you can now start researching. But never go to an interview without researching about the company. And also never ever apply for a job without trying to know about the company. Read about them on Reddit, see what people are talking about, check their reviews, check what you're going into basically. Then um practice with people. I had I still have uh one of my ex students that got job like last week, I think. She still reached out to me that what are the she's preparing for an interview and then she wants to practice with me. We chatted about it because I didn't have time to call, so I was just asking her questions. She was typing and replying back to me. But the most important thing is here that you find a way to practice. Think of what can they ask you, how can you reply, and then think of what to ask about. If you have not researched about the company, you might actually not be able to ask about the company. That's why you should always research. And yeah, make sure that you always have a copy of your resume with you. Either it's a physical interview or a virtual interview. Make sure you have a copy of your CV with you because sometimes recruiters might ask you things from there. I see here that you graduated from. You don't want to. Yeah. Then 30, 20, you don't want to do like that. You want to have a clear thought. So it's either you review it beforehand and you have everything in your head, or you have it very close to you so that you could answer any question regarding to your CV. Of course, you did it, but sometimes, I mean, it's been a while you left high school. It's been a while you left university, so you might probably have rusty information about the date and all that. So yeah, it's fine to have a copy of it with you. All right. I told you guys in the last time we had a call that we'll be having I'll be talking about reference or referees. Usually, yeah, usually, when you write a resume, you don't necessarily need to add a referee. You could say it will be available upon request or something like that. Yeah. But if you can't, you can add it because sometimes people looking at your CV, looking at who you have as your referee. As a matter of fact, I still remember when we're in 100 level. If those our bonds like our senior in the field when they are applying, they always look for like a professor to be their referee or somebody of high caliber standard. It gives credibility to who you are for someone like that to be able to talk about you. As a matter of fact, if you want to get some job in the government industry right now, you cannot get it unless the person that is signing for you as a referee is a level 14 or 13 officer. So, what am I trying to say? Your reference is actually very important. Your CV is not something that you tell your brother or your younger sister to come and become your referee. No. Or your friend who probably works as a sales assistant. Not like the job is not very important, but you need someone of high caliber. Usually, your former boss in your former company, or I mean, someone that relates to you in a way or the other that can tell of you. Because sometimes some companies require reference letter from them. All right. So please prepare at least usually two to three, four, five people that you can reference. As a matter of fact, reference is something you should have handy. I remember when I was early, when I started, it was my early. I already spoke to her that smart. I'm going to use you as reference in many places. He was like, no, always tell me. Oh. I said, okay, ma. So anytime I want to apply, I'll say I'm applying for this company. Oh. At some point, say, don't even ask me again. I know, just use it. If they need reference letter, let me know. I would write it and send it. So you have people like that that could actually, if they say who can to talk about you. I mean, as since you don't have like experience, you don't have like your LinkedIn is not. I mean, when you've worked with multiple places, you have recommendations, you have people comment on your post. Those are enough references at some point when you get to a point in life. But at some point in life as well, you require those people. So don't shun away from having quality people around you. All right. So I hope that makes some sense. And yeah, this is also something I recently find very important. If you have a company that you feel like you fit the role perfectly, you can ask somebody who is that reference. Probably you have somebody in the company that is very good. Tell the person to recommend you. You don't have to send the CV, apply directly. Just send your CV to the person recommends you internally, and then yes, they'll say, okay, tell her to apply, and then you apply, and then they pick you in the process. So these are usually the things regarding to reference that I wanted to mention. All right, so what is the usual timeline? So how long does it take to apply for job in the first place, for every job that you want to apply for? It takes around 1 to 2 weeks. It's not just see a job, upload CV, write your name, and buy. No, learn about the company. What would my cover letter look like? That can take time. Well, if you are determined enough, have a company in mind, have a list of company in mind that you say, these are the companies I would really love to work with. So that when you've learnt about them enough and when the opportunity comes in, you can just apply. Do you understand? Have those companies in mind. Then you start searching. Usually it might be longer than this, but if you have your profile optimized, your CV ready, your searching for job should be quite easy because you already know what you can do. And when you are checking the job description, you know, this is not for me. This will be too much. Do you understand? Usually like that. And what should you do? Attend event. I've told you. Follow up. Speak with people on LinkedIn. Don't just say congratulations on your work anniversary. Wow, wow. Don't just drop emoji. Have solid conversation with people. Chat them up. How are you doing? I see that you're online. I'm sorry to disturb, but I've really always wanted to work with your company. And I just wanted to ask, how is it like working with the company? These are conversations you can have on LinkedIn to build network. All right. Then your interview phase, most companies between 2 weeks and 4 weeks highest. But some companies do 2 months. I've applied for a job before and I got rejection mail like 3 months later. Depends on how big the company is. So it can take longer, but regularly between 2 to 4 weeks, you should get either the next stage or a rejection mail. I mean, whichever one they communicate through. All right. So sorry. So what are the conventional back to what we're discussing? What are the conventional job posting tactics? The gorilla tactics is like king of all kings, it's like king of boys. And I will explain what gorilla tactics means. So it's like you are doing FBI work, but in this time you are doing it to introduce yourself. So you find phone numbers of certain people in the organization and you call them, hi, how are you doing? It's just like the same thing that sales guys do to sell a product. But in this case, you are selling yourself. So you have to be well composed because the first few seconds of your call will determine if the person is hanging up or will listen to you. Hi, how are you doing? I just wanted to ask if the company has an opening for social person, or this, I am that, I am that, and I would really, really love to apply. Sometimes you get a glance. Sometimes you say, okay, come and see us tomorrow. Okay, you might be lucky. That's just the point. Then another one, looking for companies around you. Then go to the physical, um, go to their website or physically enter the office. I've seen people get jobs through that process. As a matter of fact, there was one of my guys when we were in school, 400 level. We invited him to come and speak at one of our events, and he was sharing with us at the hotel about how he got his job, his first job, that he had gone to the company and the company said they don't have an opening. So just like a products manager, he sat down with the products manager. Like he was coming to the office every day, even though they said they can't employ him. He asked, I hope I can be coming around. Say, what for? I just want to be sitting down and seeing what you do. And then product manager allowed it and then sat down there, worked like that for like 3 months without pay. And literally, at some point, everybody thought like he was a staff. He had, before you know it, he had an ID card. Had access to join. And when the boss got a better offer, he actually came in. So instead of him to come in as an intern, they actually employed him as a full-time staff. So I mean, these are, like I said, this guerrilla strategy. It's they are the strategy is more impulsive. It's non-conventional, but they work. They work. Go physically. They said there's no job opening. Okay, I get, but can I just work as an intern? It doesn't matter if you're not paying him. I want to gain the experience. But I'm sure everybody on this call is saying they will not pay me. K. K, K, K. Some of us did free work. I did free work for like a year. Some of us did free work. Do free work. It's good. You gain experience, but more importantly, be careful who you do free work with. Do free work where you know that you get value back, not people who would use you and toss you away at the end of the day. All right. What other thing? Yes, I've seen this as well. In fact, this is going very viral on social media, where people put their CV in a QR code and then paste it in several places so that, and they say scam me for an offer, scam me for discount or something. Very, very Sha, you scan it and then, ooh, really? What's this? Is someone CV? Please contact me. I'm looking for a job. And I mean, people do it and have gotten offers through it. Or you go, somebody in the company that really likes, for example, donuts, or they like peanuts, or they like coffee, and then you go deliver the coffee with them with your CV attached. So, or pizza, or I mean, we have people do a lot of things basically to get their CV seen. Or you can run Google Ads. I'm sure most of you have seen people run Google Ads to talk about what they can do. I am a product manager. I've worked in this. I can bring your company or your product to this. It's not always as effective for products manager because it's a management role, but you can give it a try. It might work for you. I mean, there's a lot of ways. I would send this document to you after the class, but there's a lot of ways you can actually put yourself out there aside from the usual one. I saw one as well for TikTok where you do like a video of, I mean, TikTok is a viral place. You do like a video of you talking about these, do's, and that, and then uh you get reached out to. Make sure that you're using the right hashtags too, because when I researched, I realized that there are some companies that actually employ through that process. They pick people out of those LinkedIn, TikTok thread. So yeah, that is a well, this is my review for the research I made. All right, so I've told you as well that one of the best ways to kickstart conversations on LinkedIn, birthdays, they just got a new job, you guys are new connections, the person followed you, all those things you can use it to start a conversation with people on LinkedIn. I've already spoke extensively on that. Your brand as well. put out yourself. Don't just stay inside. Write as much as you can write, and then be always online. Be always online. I once told someone very, very dear to me that you don't, in a digital age where you're looking for opportunity, you don't ever switch off your data. Always be online. Be online. Somebody who wants to give you a job might want to call you on WhatsApp, but then you are trying to keep data. So it's better you go hungry and make sure that you're online as much as possible. But I'm not saying online to watch Instagram. Learn, watch YouTube videos, get better. Personally, build yourself. Okay, sorry. This was not supposed to be there. All right. All right. So you can also reach out to CEOs, try to tell them about what value you can give, all those things. Or you could say stuffs like, uh, hey, for example, let me give you an example. Someone who reached out to me recently on LinkedIn, he asked, "Oh, guy, are you the one disturbing me uh, via email?" And that was how the conversation started. I was shocked. Then I had to go and check his profile. I realized that he works for a partner that we had been sending emails that has been stressing us in the company. I was like, "Oh yeah, you work for this. So you're the one in charge of the one cook. You're the one cooking beans." He was like, "No, he's not cooking beans." And that's how we started conversation on LinkedIn. Now, the next time we are going to talk, I already know that he's a software engineer and he knows that I'm a product manager. If an opportunity opens, if I tell him I'm looking for opportunities, if an opportunity is open, my guy, how far can you work? Usually that's the case. So please make sure that you put value first. Let people know what you can give. Don't just stay on LinkedIn and be asking, looking for somebody that will be your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Sorry, you can find love. But you get my point. Have actual conversations that could actually lead to something tangible. I can't overemphasize that. It's actually very, very important. And yeah, I left some template for code mails here so that while you're reviewing this, you can also review it. So how do you follow up? How do you follow up? Again, when you follow up on emails, for example, you have sent an application and you've not gotten a feedback back. When you follow up, make sure that your message is including value. Don't just say, I've not gotten back from you. Write something else. Oh, hi guys. I noticed that the company just got funded 3 days ago. I'm so excited to hear about it, especially considering I applied 2 weeks ago. And I see the funding really helping to drive the ideas that I have for the organization, which includes this, and that. Like amazing stuff. It means that you're actually keeping tab on them. And even if they are not thinking of giving you the job before, they're actually very, very open to it. And usually, based on my research as well, you are able to access people oftentimes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, usually between the hours of 10 to 3 p.m. Why? Because Mondays is crazy for some people. If you're in the MENA region, well, you might want to consider Monday because Sundays are crazy for them. So depending on the region you are, but usually um, Tuesdays to Thursdays and 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And please, once you've followed up uh, 2 or 3 times over like 2 weeks period, is enough. Please, is enough. Don't send email every day just to remind them that you applied to the company. It can come off really wrong or bad. All right. So, like I said, the goal at the end of the day is that you don't put yourself as someone who is always applying, but build your portfolio, build your profile, build yourself, position yourself to a point where you are actually able to be in a position where you are they are looking for you. That's why I call reverse recruiting techniques. You are not the one um you are not the one applying now. They are the one looking for talent and they found you. Now they come to you. And when they come to you, make sure that you have enough value to give so that when they come to you yesterday, they don't come and say, sorry, well, sorry, we can't proceed with this anymore. So yeah, this is all about the class on this. So if you have any question, please now will be the time to ask. Before we go into other things, do we have any questions regarding job application and all this yada yada? Any question? Yeah, good evening. Okay. Yeah. So it depends, yeah? It depends. And when I say it depends on your on your choice. If you are ready to actually move to the next stage. First thing I tell people is if you want to transition, the best way to transition is in your current company. Talk to your team leads and all that you are willing you really want to transition to a higher position, especially if your team lead is a very open person. Tell them, oh yeah, I'm here doing this, but I feel like I will do better as a product manager. So once in a while, you can be picking some roles, like while you are in the company, you are interning with the current product manager as you grow your skill. Now, that's the best way to actually become like to move from one position to another, because that way before you leave the company you will be promoted from customer support agent, for example, or customer success person, to say promoted to say product manager, and maybe you can leave after 3 months, but it already shows that you've gotten, well, don't leave after 3 months, but you get my point. But let's say you are unable to actually go through that route. This is what I would advise. You can position your current profile on LinkedIn as aspiring product manager, and make sure that while you're doing your work as a customer support person, talk about your everyday struggle from a product manager's perspective. Don't just, for example, as a customer, especially most people that I know that are product managers, they oftentimes pivot from customer support. As a customer support, you can always write about the fact that today you spoke with a customer. Can you hear me? All right. So you could do something like, today I spoke with a customer about this and realized that what the customer actually needed was a revamp of our platform, or of a particular feature on our platform. And having spoken with, or maybe out of my free period today, I was able to work on a user story that I sent to. Do you understand? Like something that shows that you're actually taking ownership of this job you are trying to aspire to, while you are um, while you are still doing something else. Does that make any sense to you? Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Is there any other question, guys? Okay. All right. So let's talk about the capstone project.